Stop for a moment, my beloved. Don't swipe away from this message. This isn't random. Out of all the videos you could be watching right now, out of all the voices you could be listening to, you arrived here in this exact moment. Do you really think that's an accident? I want you to understand something very important. While you've been going through your days wondering if anything is changing, while you've been asking if your prayers are even reaching heaven, while doubts have been whispering, maybe God has forgotten you, I have been working every single moment. I have not paused. I have not rested. I have not forgotten you for even 1 second. There is something I am about to reveal to you through this message that will shift everything. A truth so powerful that when you hear it, the chains that have kept you bound will start to break. But I need you to stay. Stay with me until the end. The breakthrough you've been asking for is attached to what you're about to hear. If your heart is already stirring, don't just scroll in silence right now. Pause and say out loud or type, "I'm listening," as your way of choosing to lean in and receive what I am about to speak to you. I know exactly who you are. I know the weight you carry that you haven't told anyone about. I know the prayer you've repeated so many times that you've lost count. I know the quiet fear inside you that maybe, just maybe, you've been overlooked. But here is what you haven't known. I have been working while you thought nothing was happening. Let me explain. You've gone through seasons where it felt like you were stuck, like life had hit pause for you, while everyone else kept moving forward. You've watched others receive their breakthroughs while you were still waiting. You've rejoiced with them on the outside while silently wondering, when will it be my turn? In those hidden moments when no one else was watching, you cried tears that only I saw. I want you to know something about those tears. Not one of them was wasted. Not one tear slipped from your eyes without being gathered by my hand. Every tear of frustration, loneliness, and desperation, I have seen them all. They are precious to me. Those tears have been watering seeds you didn't even know I planted in your life. If you know those tears are yours, acknowledge it by writing, "Those were my tears," or "This is for me," where you are watching. As you respond, you're not just engaging a video. You're agreeing with the truth. I'm speaking over your story. Here is what you couldn't see in those difficult seasons. While you felt stuck, I was laying your foundation. While you felt forgotten, I was arranging divine connections that you haven't seen yet. While you felt weak, I was strengthening parts of you that you didn't know were there. You assumed nothing was happening because you couldn't see any proof. But I always start my work in the invisible before I reveal it in the visible. Think of it like this. When a farmer plants a seed, there's a time when nothing seems to be happening above the ground. The soil looks the same. The field looks empty. Someone walking by might think the farmer wasted his time. But under the surface, something incredible is taking place. Roots are growing. Structure is forming. Life is arranging itself quietly, unseen but very real. Your life has been that field, and I am the one who has been tending it, even when you didn't realize it. Let me show you what has been happening beneath the surface of your circumstances. There is a network of divine activity surrounding your life that you cannot detect with your natural senses. Angels have been sent on assignments, connected directly to your future. Conversations in heaven have included your name. Strategies have been written for your breakthrough. Resources have been positioned along your path. All of this has been in motion while you were focused on what felt wrong or delayed. I want you to see how complex what I'm doing really is. It's not simple. It's not one small thing. Many threads are being woven together all at once. What happens in your finances is tied to what happens in your relationships. What happens in your health is linked to your purpose. What happens in your family is connected to your calling. I see all of it at once. I understand how each piece impacts the others, and I am working on every part simultaneously. This is why you've never been able to fully figure it out on your own. The scale of my work in your life is beyond human understanding. You see a single puzzle piece and you try to guess where it fits, but you don't have the picture on the box. You don't yet see the final image. I do, and I am putting each piece in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. If you're beginning to realize I've been working behind the scenes, don't keep that realization to yourself. Save this message so you can come back to it on the days you forget, and share it with one person who needs to know they haven't been forgotten either. There are people tied to your destiny whom you haven't even met yet. Some of them are thinking about you right now, without knowing why. There are doors that have been shut for years that I am now beginning to unlock. Even as you listen now, keys are turning. There are resources already set aside for you in the spiritual realm that are on their way into your everyday life. You can't see them yet, but they exist. They are real, and they are coming. Now I need to go a little deeper, beyond what you show to others, beyond what you talk about out loud. I want to speak to the part of you that feels heavy, the weight you carry deep in your soul. It's the weight of disappointment, the weight of dreams that didn't happen in the time you thought they would, the weight of relationships that didn't end the way you hoped, the weight of cruel or careless words that cut deeper than any physical wound. I know about all of it. Nothing is hidden from me. I've watched you put on a brave face in public while falling apart in private. I've seen you smiling at others while your heart was breaking. I've seen you encouraging people while silently wondering who will ever encourage you. I see the gap between how strong you look and how fragile you feel. And I want you to know this. I am not disappointed in you for struggling. I am not angry with you because you've had doubts. I'm not frustrated because your faith has wavered. I understand the human heart more than anyone. I know you are made from dust. I see your limits. I know how the pressures of life can feel like too much. None of this surprises me, and none of it changes my love for you. What touches my heart deeply is that, despite all of this, you're still here. You're still listening. In spite of the pain, you haven't fully walked away. Despite the disappointments, something in you keeps holding on. That persistence is precious to me. It reveals the strength inside you that you often overlook. I know about the promise that was broken and changed the way you trust. I know about the betrayal that came from someone you never expected to hurt you. I know about the failure you replay in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. I know about the opportunity you missed and the regret that followed. But here's what I need you to grasp. None of those experiences were wasted. I have been using every single one of them. The disappointments have grown your compassion, for others who are disappointed. The broken promises have shown you the value of a God who never breaks his word. The betrayal has taught you to root your ultimate trust in the one who will never leave you. The failure has given you humility that will protect you when success comes. I don't waste anything. Not your pain, not your waiting, not your tears, not your questions, not even your doubts. I take every ingredient from your life, the bitter and the sweet, and I am preparing something wonderful. The recipe needs all of it. When the final dish is served, you will see why every single ingredient mattered. There is something else I want to talk about, something you've been almost scared to admit, even to yourself. Deep inside your heart is a dream. It's so precious to you that you've tried to protect yourself by pretending it doesn't exist. You're afraid that if you fully admit it and it doesn't happen, the pain would be too much to bear. But I am the one who put that dream inside you. It wasn't random. It wasn't a mistake. It isn't childish or unrealistic. That dream is a seed of destiny. I planted in you before you were even born. While you've been trying to push it down, to ignore it, to tell yourself it's impossible, I've been preparing the conditions for it to bloom. The reason it hasn't come to pass yet is not because it never will. It's because you needed preparation. The dream was ready, but you needed more growth, more character, more spiritual maturity, more refinement that only waiting can produce. Now, hear this good news. The preparation season is nearing its end. What I planted is about to push through the soil. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who had a strong desire to build something meaningful. He had a clear picture in his mind of what he wanted to create. He could see it in detail. But year after year, something blocked him. First, he didn't have the money. Then, he didn't have the right connections. Then life events kept pulling his focus away. After a while, he started to think that maybe the dream was foolish. What he didn't realize is that in those wasted years, I was training him. Every obstacle taught him problem-solving skills he would need later. Every season of lack taught him creativity and trust. Every delay moved him into position to meet people he would eventually need. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Then one day, everything shifted. Out of nowhere, resources appeared. The right people stepped into his life. Doors that had been shut for years opened with little effort. When he finally built what he had long dreamed of, it was far beyond his original vision, because he had become far more than he once was. This is your story too. You are that person, and the shift is closer than you think. But before we go further, I need to address something I feel in your heart. There is a part of you that wants to believe all this, but another part that is afraid to hope. You've been hurt by promises that never came to pass. You've heard big words before and been let down. So now, to protect yourself, you are listening, but holding back your heart. I understand that. I don't condemn you for it, but I want you to know something about my words. My words are not like human words. When a person makes a promise, many things can stop them from keeping it. They might change their mind. Their circumstances might shift. They might not have the power to deliver. They might forget. They might even die. Human promises are fragile, but when I speak, it's different. My words carry the same power that created the universe. When I say, "Let there be light," light appears. When I say, "Let there be life," life begins. When I say, "I am working on your behalf," that work becomes reality. I don't speak empty words. I don't give promises I can't keep. I don't talk just to make you feel better. Every word I speak is backed by my power, my perfect wisdom, and my unchanging character. So when I tell you that I've been working while you were unaware, it isn't just positive thinking. It is truth. It is what has been happening behind the scenes, and what happens in the invisible will eventually be seen in the visible. The preparation is almost done. The table is set. The pieces are nearly in place. What you're about to walk into has taken years to prepare, and it will be worth every tear, every delay, every prayer. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Now, I want to speak very specifically into some areas that have been weighing on your mind. Let's talk about your finances. I want you to know that lack is not your permanent address. It's a temporary stop, not your final destination. I've seen your struggle to make ends meet. I've watched you doing the math over and over again, trying to figure out how to stretch what you have. I've seen your stress over bills and your worry about the future. I want you to know that provision is on its way. But I need you to see something. The provision I'm sending is not just about numbers in an account. It's about freedom. I'm bringing financial freedom so you can give generously the way you've always wanted to. I'm bringing security so you can focus on your purpose instead of just surviving. I'm bringing resources so you can help others who are facing what you faced. What's coming will not only shift your financial situation, it will expand your ability to impact lives. That's why the timing has been important. If the blessing had come too early, you might have used it in a way that didn't line up with what I intended. But now you've been prepared. Your character has grown. Your heart has been tested. Now the provision can be trusted in your hands. If you are believing me in the area of your finances, respond in faith now. Type, I trust your timing. And as an act of expectation, save this message as a reminder that lack is not your final address. Let me share a story about provision. There was a woman who had prayed for financial breakthrough for years. She was responsible with what she had, but it was never quite enough. Month after month, she barely made it. She questioned whether I heard her prayers. She wondered if the abundance she read about was for other people, not for her. But during that time, I was moving pieces into place. While she struggled, I was connecting her to people she'd later need. I was sharpening her skills. I was building a reputation for faithfulness and integrity around her name. I was laying a foundation that would support something far bigger than she imagined. One day, an opportunity came, far beyond anything she would have sought out herself. Someone who had quietly watched her faithfulness for years offered her a position that completely changed her financial life. It didn't appear out of thin air. It came through years of hidden work. Relationships formed, skills developed, character shaped. Looking back, she could see it. If that opportunity had shown up earlier, she wouldn't have been ready. She wouldn't have had the skill, support, or internal strength to handle it. The waiting wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Here's what I want you to understand. Your financial breakthrough is tied to more than money. It's connected to your calling and your bigger story. When the provision comes, and it will come in a way that aligns with your purpose. It will make sense in the context of what I've designed you to do. Trust my timing. I know what I'm doing. Now let's talk about your health. I know every concern, every symptom that causes you to worry, every diagnosis that scares you, every pain that makes you wonder how your future will look. My child, I formed your body. I know every cell. I created every system. I know how everything is supposed to function. I am the same God who spoke the universe into existence. The power that created everything from nothing is not gone. It is still active, and it is available for your restoration. I am not promising that you will never face health issues, but I am promising that you will never face them alone. I am with you in the waiting room. I am with you during every test. I am with you in the long nights when you can't sleep, and my presence is not inactive. I am at work in your body even now, bringing alignment where things have been off, healing what has been damaged, restoring what has been broken. Trust my timing in this area too. Sometimes healing is immediate, sometimes it unfolds slowly. Sometimes it comes through doctors and medicine. Sometimes it comes in ways that no medical explanation can fully describe. The method is my decision. The promise of my care stands firm. Your part is to trust that I know what I am doing with your body. To those who have lived with long-term illness or pain, hear me clearly. You've carried this for so long that you've almost stopped believing change is possible. Doctors have given their opinions. The tests have said what they say. It all looks settled. You've started to accept that this is just how it will always be. I want to gently challenge that, not to give you fake hope, but to give you true hope. There are things impossible for human medicine that are not impossible for me. There are conditions that have no known cure that still respond to my touch. There are situations that look permanent in the natural that can be changed in a moment by supernatural power. I am not saying every person will be healed every time in this life. Some battles are fought differently. Some victories will only be fully seen on the other side of eternity. But I am saying this: do not limit your expectation to what doctors have said. Their knowledge matters, but it is not final. Their expertise is useful, but it is not ultimate. I have the last word over your body. Stay open to what I can do. Don't let past disappointments close your heart to future possibilities. I am still the God who heals. I have not lost my power. I have not forgotten your physical needs, and I never will. Now let me speak about your relationships. This is an area where I have been working deeply. While you were unaware, some relationships in your life have become strained, distant, or broken. Some connections you cherished have faded no matter how hard you tried to keep them. You've wondered if something is wrong with you, or if you are just meant to be alone. Here is the truth. I have been rearranging the people around you. Some individuals needed to move out of your inner circle because they belonged to a previous season of your life, not the one you are entering now. Their departure was not always rejection. Sometimes it was completion. The part they were meant to play in your story was finished, and holding on to them would have kept both you and them from growing. At the same time, I've been preparing new relationships that align with your future. People who will understand your vision, people who will support your purpose, people who will challenge you in healthy ways and celebrate with you. These relationships are not random. They are divine appointments that I have been setting up while you were focused on the people who left. Even the loneliness you felt has not been wasted. It has made room in your heart for the right people. It has taught you to value real connection over shallow interaction. It has prepared you to welcome the ones I am sending without taking them for granted. Let me speak about family. For some of you, there is distance between you and people who share your blood. Conversations have become shallow. Family gatherings are tense or awkward. Maybe there was a big argument that was never really healed. Maybe there wasn't a fight, just slow drifting apart over time. Either way, the disconnection hurts you more than you admit. I am working here too. Some family relationships will be restored in surprising ways. Walls that have stood for years will start to crack. Hearts that have been cold will begin to soften. Conversations that used to feel impossible will start to flow. I am not saying every family connection will become perfect, but I am saying that I am actively working to bring healing where there has been hurt. For some of you, the shift will start with you. You'll be the one to take the first step. You'll reach out. You'll choose to forgive. You'll choose peace, even when it feels unfair. That is not weakness. That is strength. That is not letting someone win over you. It is choosing relationship over ego. As you move toward reconciliation, you will see that I have already been working on the other side. Now, to those who are single and longing for a partner, I see your heart. Your desire is not wrong. Wanting companionship does not make you weak or unspiritual. I designed human beings for connection. I said it is not good for man to be alone. Your desire to share life with someone is deeply human, and I respect it. But I need you to understand this. The right person at the wrong time can cause just as much damage as the wrong person at any time. Timing matters. Readiness matters. If I brought your partner into your life before you were both prepared, the relationship would not grow in the way I intend. What feels like delay is actually protection. What feels like endless waiting is actually careful preparation. I am working on your heart. I am working on theirs. I am arranging the circumstances that will bring your paths together. Trust my timeline. The story I am writing for your love life is better than anything you could write on your own. Now pause and really listen to this part. What I'm about to say is something your enemy does not want you to receive. There are forces that have tried to keep you discouraged, thoughts that whisper, nothing will ever change. Feelings that suggest your best days are already behind you. These are lies. They are targeted lies, meant to push you to give up right before your breakthrough. The enemy has seen the direction of my plans for you. He knows that when you step fully into what I've prepared, you will be a powerful influence for good. That's why you've experienced so much resistance. Every wave of depression has been an attempt to stop your progress. Every rush of anxiety has been a strategy to paralyze you. Every thought that you are not enough has been meant to push you away from your inheritance. But hear this clearly. The enemy does not control me. He does not control my plans. He does not control my timing. He does not control my resources. Most importantly, he does not control you. When you are in my hands, you belong to me. You are protected by me. You are strengthened by me. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate you from my love. If you feel that battle around your mind and your emotions, take a stand right now. Write, I will not give up. Or I choose victory in the comments. And let that be your public declaration that you are not agreeing with the lies anymore. Let's talk for a moment about spiritual warfare, because many people misunderstand it. The battle is real, but the outcome has already been decided. At the cross, the decisive victory was won. The enemy was defeated fully, not partially. What remains now is not a question of whether he will ultimately lose. That has already been settled. The only question is how much ground he can temporarily influence before his final end. This changes how you should see the fight. You are not fighting for victory, as if the end is uncertain. You are fighting from victory, enforcing what has already been secured. This is very important. When you truly understand this, you stop fighting with fear and start standing with authority. The enemy wants you to feel like your destiny is hanging by a thread. He wants you to live as if things could go either way in the end. But that's a lie. If you are in my hands, your eternal future is secure. Your final victory is guaranteed. The only question is, how much of that victory you will taste in this life. That depends on what you will believe, what you will receive, and how you will obey. So yes, resist the enemy, but resist from a place of confidence, not panic. Stand firm, but stand knowing that he is already defeated and his time is limited. This is how my warriors fight, not through desperation, but through dominion. Now, I want to show you something that will shift how you see everything. It's about this idea that I have been working, even when you didn't know. Many people imagine that spiritual activity happens only when they are focused on me. When they're praying, they assume I'm listening. When they're worshiping, they feel my presence. When they're reading my word, they sense my guidance. And all of that is true. But here's what many miss. I never stop working. My activity in your life is not limited to the moments you feel spiritual. I am working when you are distracted. I am working when you feel numb. I am working when you are sleeping. I am working when you forget to pray. I am working when your faith feels small. I am working even in the moments when you're not sure you believe at all. This is who I am. I am the God who never sleeps or slumbers. I am the one who holds everything together all the time. I know the end from the beginning. I have been fully engaged in your story, every moment of your life. Let me give you a practical picture of this. Think about a time when something bad almost happened to you, but didn't. Maybe you nearly had an accident. Maybe you almost said yes to something that would have ruined you. Maybe you almost got involved with the wrong person. Maybe you almost missed an opportunity that became important later. In those moments, something shifted, something stopped you, something turned the situation. That something was me. I was working when you didn't realize it. There have been countless moments like this in your life. Times when I blocked something that would have harmed you, or opened something that needed to open. Times when I quietly moved someone's heart in your favor. Times when I altered circumstances in ways you'll never fully know. You have been protected more than you realize. You have been guided more than you can see. You have been blessed in ways you've never even noticed. And all of this happened during seasons when you thought nothing good was going on. While you were feeling stuck, I was moving obstacles. While you were feeling forgotten, I was carefully remembering every detail of your life. While you were feeling weak, I was taking down enemies you didn't even know you had. Remember that moment when you just felt like you shouldn't go somewhere or shouldn't do something? You couldn't explain it. You just had a check in your spirit, a strange hesitation, a sense that something was off. You changed your plans or slowed down, and then you never really knew why. That was me. That was my spirit speaking to you. That was my protection flowing through that inner nudge. What you avoided that day was far more serious than you realized. The path you didn't take would have led to pain you'd still be dealing with now. The situation you stepped away from would have harmed you deeply. This kind of thing has happened more times than you can count. Those quiet nudges, those sudden pauses, those unexpected changes of heart, they are not random. They are not just brain chemistry. They are ways I speak and guide. The question is not whether I am speaking, I am. The question is whether you're in a place to hear. Some of you have become so busy, so overloaded, that my still small voice gets drowned out. You're not a bad person. You're just overwhelmed. So many things are demanding your attention that the gentle whisper of my spirit gets lost in the noise. I am inviting you into more stillness, not as a religious rule, but as a real way to hear me. When you make space for quiet, you make space for my voice. When you slow down long enough to breathe and listen, you position yourself to receive what I've been trying to show you. The most important moments between us usually won't happen while you're rushing from one task to the next. They will happen when you are still enough to notice me. This should change how you see the quiet seasons, the times when you don't strongly feel my presence, the times when your prayers feel like they bounce back in silence, the times when the waiting feels like it's stretching too long. These are not proof that I'm absent. They are often times of intense, unseen activity. I am always working. Always. Now let's talk about a fear that stays in the back of your mind. It's the fear that you are running out of time, that too many chances have passed you by, that your mistakes are too big to come back from, that your age, your past, or your situation has disqualified you from anything significant. That fear is lying to you. I specialize in redemption. There is nothing in your past that I cannot transform. No mistake so large that my grace cannot cover it. No amount of wasted time that I cannot restore. I can give you back years you think are gone forever. I can do more in one moment of my favor than you could do in 10 years of your own effort. Let's look more closely at redemption, because it brings me joy to do this in your life. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Redemption means taking something broken and making it beautiful. Taking something lost and restoring it. Taking something damaged and rebuilding it stronger. This is what I love to do. Look honestly at your story. Look at the broken places, the relationships that fell apart, the opportunities you missed, the time you feel you wasted, the choices you regret, the pain that still lingers. To you, these might look like permanent losses. But when I look at your story, I see building materials. I see pieces that I can rearrange into something meaningful. I see lessons buried in the pain. I see purpose hidden inside the very things you wish had never happened. Nothing is wasted in my hands. Nothing is beyond my ability to redeem. The very things you are most ashamed of, those are often the areas I will use most powerfully. Your biggest failures can become your strongest testimonies. Your deepest wounds can become the place where you are able to comfort and help others. The cracks in your life become windows where my light shines through. So stop trying to hide your brokenness. Stop pretending you have everything perfectly together. Stop presenting a fake version of yourself that doesn't match your reality. Your honesty about your struggles is what will connect you to others who are struggling. Your openness about your past is what will bring hope to people who think they're too far gone. Your story of redemption will point others to me. Think about some of the people I've used before. Moses was 80 when I called him to lead my people out of Egypt. Abraham was 75 when I called him to become a father of nations. Sarah was 90 when she gave birth to the promised child. These weren't young people at the beginning of their journey. They had lived through disappointment, failure, and long waiting. Yet their greatest purpose came later in life, not earlier. This should tell you something. I am not limited by your age. I am not restricted by human schedules or expectations about what should happen by a certain time in life. As long as you are alive, you are not too late. If you can hear these words, you are not disqualified. If something in your heart is stirring right now, that is me reminding you that your story is not finished. A new chapter is beginning. Let me share another story. Imagine a seed planted in harsh ground. The earth is hard. The conditions are not ideal. The weather is not gentle. All the experts would say that this seed has little chance. But inside that seed is life, divine life. A kind of life that doesn't depend on perfect conditions. A strength that finds a way even where there seems to be no way. The seed starts to grow, slowly at first. The soil resists it. The weather pushes against it. Other plants compete with it. But it keeps pushing upward. It keeps reaching for the light. Eventually, it becomes a tree. Not just any tree, but a strong, steady tree that gives shade and shelter to many. Birds make nests in its branches. People sit under it and find rest. What began in harsh conditions becomes a source of blessing for generations. That seed is you. The environment of your life has not always been easy. You have faced situations that should have broken you. People may have looked at your life and underestimated what could come from it. But what they couldn't see is the life I put inside you. There is something in you that does not depend on everything being perfect. There is resilience. There is calling. There is spiritual DNA that carries my image and my purpose. You are going to grow into something far greater than your beginning suggests. The battles and resistance you faced have only strengthened your roots. The challenges have made you tougher, more grounded, more ready. Do not let anyone convince you that a painful start means a painful ending. I love to create beautiful stories out of rough beginnings. The contrast between where you started and where you will end up will be part of your testimony. It will show that I am the one who makes all things new. Take a breath with me here. I know you've heard a lot, and some of these words may be stirring deep emotions. That's okay. Let them rise. Let the tears fall if they need to. You are safe with me. I am not a God who demands that you keep performing without rest. I don't require you to be strong all the time. I don't expect perfect faith, perfect behavior, or perfect confidence. I know you are human. I know your limits. I know there are days when you simply have nothing left to give. On those days especially, I am gentle with you. I want to speak to those of you who have been very hard on yourselves. You replay your mistakes over and over. You criticize yourself more harshly than anyone else. You say things about yourself that you would never say to someone you love. This needs to change. Tearing yourself down does not honor me. Walking around in shame and self-hatred does not bring me joy. It hurts my heart because I see you through love. And when you speak against yourself, you are disagreeing with what I say about you. Yes, there's a place for admitting sin and turning away from it. Yes, there's a place for acknowledging wrong choices and choosing better. But there is a huge difference between healthy conviction and destructive condemnation. Conviction is specific. It points to a particular action or attitude that needs to change. Condemnation is vague and heavy. It attacks your entire identity. Conviction leads to freedom and change. Condemnation leads to shame and paralysis. When my spirit convicts you, there is always hope attached. There is always a sense that change is possible, that there is a way forward. If what you are feeling only makes you feel worthless and hopeless, that is not my voice. That is the voice of the accuser. Learn to tell the difference. My voice corrects but also builds up. The accuser's voice only tears down. My voice shows you a way out. The accuser says there is no way. My voice tells you who you truly are. The accuser speaks lies about your identity. Stop agreeing with that accusing voice. When thoughts come that say, you are worthless, you'll never change, you've messed up too badly, recognize that these are not from me. Reject them. Then replace them with what I say about you. Speak my truth over yourself instead. My love for you is not based on your performance. It is based on who you are in me, and who you are is my beloved child. You were chosen before the foundation of the world. I knew you before time began. I loved you before your first breath, and nothing you do or fail to do can cancel that. So rest. Rest in knowing you don't have to earn my love. Rest in knowing you don't have to perform to keep my favor. Rest in the reality that you are loved right now, as you are, not as some better version of yourself you imagine you need to become first. The world is full of striving. Pressure to succeed, pressure to prove yourself, pressure to keep up, constant comparison to people who seem to have more, do more, or be more. But in my presence, all of that fades. With me, you can just be. You can exhale. You can lay down the burden of trying to prove your worth. You are worthy because I made you. That is enough. Let's go deeper into this idea of rest, because it's very different from what the world teaches. The world says your value is measured by your productivity. It treats success as the main measure of your worth. It celebrates people who never stop working. Hard work has its place, but it was never meant to define who you are. In my kingdom, your worth is not based on your output. You are not more loved when you achieve more, and you are not less loved when you achieve less. You are valuable because I created you. You matter because you are mine. That means you can rest without guilt. You can sit still without feeling like you are falling behind. You can have slow days without thinking you are less in my eyes. When I gave a day of rest, it was not just a religious idea. It was a statement about your humanity. You are not machines. You are my children, made for relationship with me. Some of you have been pushing so hard for so long that you have forgotten how to rest. Even when your body is lying down, your mind is still running. Your thoughts jump ahead to the next problem, the next responsibility. Activity has become your default, and quiet feels uncomfortable. I am calling you into a different rhythm, one that includes both work and rest, both effort and ease, both movement and stillness. This is not laziness. It is health. It is living the way I designed you to live. When you learn to truly rest in me, something beautiful happens. You don't become less fruitful. You become more. Your work flows from a place of peace instead of exhaustion. Your creativity opens up. Your decisions become clearer. Rest doesn't compete with your work, it strengthens it. Trust me, I designed your body, I designed your soul. I know what you need. Now let's talk about your purpose. The reason you are here. The difference you are meant to make. I know you've wondered about this. You've looked at others who seem to know their calling and wondered, what about me? Sometimes you felt lost, as if you're walking without a map. You've wondered if your life really matters in the way you hoped it would. I want you to hear this clearly. You have a purpose that is bigger than any job title or role. Your purpose is not just about what you do. It's also about who you become and the lives you touch along the way. Every experience you've had has shaped you for what is coming. The good times built certain skills and strengths in you. The painful times developed depth, compassion, and resilience. Together, they have been forming a person uniquely suited for specific assignments that no one else can fulfill in exactly the way you can. No one else has your exact story. No one else has your exact mix of talents, personality, experiences, and relationships. That means there are people only you will reach. Not because you're better than others, but because you are different in all the right ways. Your purpose will unfold step by step. You don't need the whole plan right now. You just need to take the next step I place in front of you. Then the next, and the next. With each step, more of the path will become clear. With each step, you will be more prepared for what's ahead. Let me explain why I don't show you everything all at once. If I revealed the full picture of what I want to do through you, it might feel overwhelming. The distance between where you are now and where I'm taking you would seem too far. By leading you one step at a time, I keep it within your reach. Each step is possible with the strength and wisdom you have today. Also, if you knew everything in advance, you would try to skip the hard parts. Human nature wants the destination without the journey, but the journey is not extra. It's essential. The process is where your character is built. It's where your faith is strengthened. It's where you become the kind of person who can handle the blessing without being crushed by it. If I took you straight to the finish line, you would arrive unprepared. The very thing you prayed for could end up weighing you down instead of lifting you up. Another reason I lead one step at a time is because I value faith. Faith is not a punishment, it is a gift. Faith keeps us close. If you could see everything clearly, you would rely mostly on your own understanding. But when you only see the next step, you stay in conversation with me. You ask, you listen, you depend on me. That is where our relationship grows deep. Let me give you another picture. There was a young woman who felt completely unsure of her direction. She tried different paths, jobs, studies, projects, and nothing seemed to fit. Each time she started something, it fell apart or left her dissatisfied. She began to think something was wrong with her, that everyone else got a clear map for their life except her. What she didn't see was that every wrong path was teaching her something valuable. Each job built a new skill. Each closed door showed her more clearly what she truly cared about. Each disappointment refined her desires. When she finally stepped into what she was truly called to do, it drew from all of her past experiences. The skills from her first job helped her. The relationships from another season opened doors. The lessons from her failures gave her wisdom. Looking back, she realized nothing had been wasted. What felt like confusion was actually training. What felt like failure was preparation. Your life is like that too. Every piece is being woven together. From your perspective, it might look random or messy, but I see the full pattern. Think of a master weaver at a loom. From the back, the threads look tangled and chaotic, going in many directions. It looks like a mess. But from the front, a beautiful design is forming. The weaver knows exactly which thread to pull and when. Your life is like the back of that weaving. You see knots, loose ends, and colors that don't seem to match. I see the front. I see the story that is emerging. Some threads that look ugly from behind are the very ones that create the most beauty on the front. Some lines that seem to go the wrong way are adding depth and richness. Even what looks like a mistake can become part of the design. You can't judge the whole thing from your angle. You have to trust the one weaving it. One day, you will see the front side of your story clearly. You will see what I created with every experience of your life. The beauty will move you. The purpose behind the pain will be revealed. Until that day, trust me with the threads you don't understand. Now I want to talk about what is coming, not just in vague, general terms, but some specific kinds of change you will see. Listen closely. In the coming days, you will receive clarity about a decision that has been weighing on you. The confusion will break. The path forward will become clear. Something that has felt complicated and cloudy will suddenly feel simple and obvious. This won't be because you overthought it. It will be a gift of understanding, dropping into your heart when you're not expecting it. In the coming weeks, you will have an encounter that changes how you see things. It could be a conversation, something you watch or read, or a moment in my presence, but it will shift your perspective in an important way. This moment won't be random. I am setting it up because there is something you need to see that you haven't been able to see yet. In the coming months, you will see movement in an area that has been stuck for a long time. Something you almost gave up on will begin to change. Progress that you could not create on your own will start to appear. And when it happens, you will know it's me, because it will go beyond your own strength and strategy. In the coming year, you will look back at where you are now and be amazed at how far you've come. The growth in you will be clear. The change will be visible. People who know you will notice. You will notice, and you will know that it wasn't just your willpower. It was my grace working in you. Let me be even more specific. There are areas of your life that have been stubborn and resistant to change. Habits you've tried again and again to break. Thought patterns you've tried to change, but that keep coming back. Relational patterns that repeat in painful ways, no matter how hard you try to do better. Some of these things have been in your life for years. You've started to think, this is just how I am. I want you to know that breakthrough is coming, even into these stubborn places. Not because you will suddenly become superhuman, but because I am stepping in with new power. Fresh grace is being poured out. New strategies and insights are coming. My spirit is working at a deeper level. The habit that has controlled you, I am breaking its grip. Not just helping you manage it better, but breaking its power. You will look back one day and say, how did this ever have such a hold on me? The freedom will be real and lasting. The negative thought loops that have been tormenting you, I am renewing your mind. The lies you've believed about yourself, your future, and your worth are going to be replaced with my truth. As your thoughts change, your choices and feelings will change too. In relationships where there has been pain and tension, I am bringing change as well. Some relationships will be healed, others will be peacefully released. Others will be rebuilt from the ground up, healthier than before. An area that has been a source of constant hurt will become an area where you see my hand clearly at work. I am doing something new. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Some of you have been praying for specific miracles. A child who has walked away from me. A marriage that feels like it's hanging by a thread. A health battle that feels overwhelming. A financial crisis that seems impossible to escape. I know every detail of what you've been asking for. I know how long you've been waiting. I'm not going to tell you exactly when or how each miracle will happen. That's not how I work. But I am telling you this. Keep believing, keep praying, keep holding on. The delay does not mean never. My timing is perfect, even when it doesn't make sense to you yet. And remember, what I am doing in you is about more than just you. Your breakthrough will affect others, your family, your children, your community, even people you haven't met yet. Your change will echo through generations. If you have children, or will one day, they will inherit not only your DNA, but also the spiritual ground you gain. The freedom you receive will create new possibilities for them. The chains you break now are chains they will not have to fight later. The lies you overcome will not be passed down as strongly to them. Every victory you walk in extends the territory of freedom for your whole family line. This is one reason the enemy fights you so intensely. He's not just trying to stop you, he's trying to stop the generations that would be affected by your breakthrough. But as you partner with me, what he meant for harm will be turned into multi-generational blessing. Some of you are praying for children who have drifted far from faith, sons and daughters who are making choices that break your heart. You've cried, pleaded, and wondered if anything is reaching them. Listen, I have not forgotten your children. Your prayers have not been ignored. I am pursuing them even when they are running. I am placing people and moments in their path. I am speaking to them in ways you may never see. Do not give up. Do not stop praying. The same God working in your life is working in theirs. There is a promise that I love to fulfill, that as you believe in me, my reach extends to your household. This doesn't erase human choice, but it reveals my heart. I love families. I love restoration. I love bringing parents and children into freedom together. Keep holding on to hope for your family. I am the Good Shepherd. I go after the one that wanders. Your son is not too far. Your daughter is not too far. I am on their trail. Even beyond your immediate family, there are people watching your life. They may never say it, but they see your faith. They notice how you keep going. Some of them are being drawn toward me because of what they see in you. You are a living testimony even on days you don't feel like one. In your community, there are people who need your story. People facing the same kind of darkness you've faced. People who are one honest conversation away from hope. I will position you to be that person for some of them. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. This is why your preparation has taken time. I am not only preparing you for personal blessings, but for influence that carries spiritual weight. The kind of influence I'm talking about is not about social media numbers or fame. It's deeper. It's the quiet, powerful influence that changes hearts. Think about the people who have impacted you most. They were probably ordinary people whose lives reflected me, a grandparent who prayed, a friend who listened and stayed, a teacher who spoke life into you, a stranger who was kind at just the right time. That's the kind of influence I have in mind for you. You may never know how far the impact of your yes to me will go, but I know. And I have been working in every hidden season, every painful moment, every silent year to shape you for what's ahead. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are deeply loved, carefully guided, constantly watched over, and powerfully called. Stay with me. Keep trusting. Keep listening. I have been working while you were unaware, and very soon, you will begin to see with your own eyes what I have been doing all along. It's all about presence. The kind of influence I'm growing in you works quietly and deeply. It will show up in simple coffee conversations. It will show up in a text you send at the exact right moment. It will be seen in how you walk through hard days while letting others see your faith in action. It will be heard in the stories you tell about what I've done in your life. Some of you will have public influence, visible platforms, microphones, and crowds. But even that public influence will always rest on the foundation of who you are when no one is looking. A microphone only makes louder what's already inside. If there's nothing real inside, it just turns up the volume on emptiness. But if there is true transformation, real depth, real encounters with me, then that microphone becomes a tool to spread that reality to others. So don't look down on small beginnings or small circles. The one person you encourage today might be the one who encourages thousands tomorrow. The small seed you plant in one heart might grow into fruit that outlives you by generations. You rarely see how far a single act of kindness travels, how far a single word of truth echoes, how far a single moment of faithfulness reaches. The ripples go much farther than your eyes can see. This is the kind of influence I'm preparing you for. Not a quick flash of fame that fades, but a steady impact that reaches into eternity. Are you willing to be prepared for that? Are you willing to let me build in you what's needed for that kind of lasting impact? Now I need to bring you into something more serious. There is a battle around your life that you need to understand. Not to scare you, but to wake you up. Not so your eyes stay on the enemy, but so you know how to stand in my victory. The enemy has been assigned against you because he sees your potential. If you were no threat to his plans, he would ignore you. The very fact that you faced resistance is a sign that you carry something important. Think about it. Why would he waste energy on someone who doesn't matter to the fight? You've been targeted because of who you are becoming. The attacks you've gone through were attempts to end your destiny before it started. The discouragement you've battled was designed to make you quit just before the breakthrough. The lies you've quietly believed were meant to twist your sense of identity so you would never walk confidently in who you really are. But here's what the enemy did not calculate. He did not factor in me. The enemy studies patterns. He watches human behavior. He understands your weak spots. He knows when you feel tired and most vulnerable. But there is something he can neither predict nor control. My intervention. He cannot predict the moment I shift the situation. He cannot control the times I choose to move on your behalf. He cannot guess the creative ways I will work around every obstacle He places in front of you. I want to give you a glimpse of what's been happening in the spiritual realm. Every time He set a trap, I redirected your steps. Every time a spirit was sent to weigh you down, I sent angels to lift you up. Every time He tried to steal what was meant for you, I recovered it and increased it. The war has been fierce, but you have never fought alone. There have been angelic interventions in your life that you know nothing about. Real angels, strong spiritual beings sent to protect you, have been actively at work around you. They've turned away attacks you didn't see. They've pushed back forces you cannot see with natural eyes. They have stood guard over you as you slept, as you worked, as you went through your usual daily routine. This is not fantasy or religious drama. This is spiritual reality. My heavenly army is real. Their assignments are real. Their battles for you are real. And many of their victories are the reason you are still standing. After all, that's been aimed at you. Now let me speak directly to the spiritual forces that have been opposing my child. This is not a suggestion. This is a command from my throne. Every assignment of depression, break now. Every heavy spirit that has tried to squeeze the hope out of this heart, release your hold. You have no legal right to stay. The blood of Jesus has canceled every claim you thought you had. Your time of torment ends here. Every word curse spoken against this one is now broken. Harsh words spoken in anger, words spoken out of jealousy, words spoken out of ignorance, even words tossed out by well-meaning people who never realized how powerful their speech could be. I cancel the weight of every negative statement. They will not write my child's future. They will not restrict my child's destiny. They will drop to the ground like seeds thrown onto stone, unable to take root. If you receive this freedom, seal it with a response. Type "I receive this" or "It is done" and follow this page message so you can keep walking with these truths, returning to them whenever you need to be reminded of what I have spoken over you. Every generational pattern that has been handed down, this is where it stops. The cycles of dysfunction that have followed the family line will not continue in you. The addictions that held past generations will not claim this one. The poverty mindset that blocked financial breakthrough will not operate here anymore. The toxic relationship patterns that wrecked marriages and families will not repeat themselves in you. I am breaking the chain. This generation is marked for freedom. If you're hearing this and something in you is saying, "This is for me," pause for a moment and type "It ends with me" in the comments as your declaration of faith. Let me pinpoint some of the generational patterns I am cutting off. Maybe there's a history of broken marriages in your family. One generation after another, relationships have fallen apart. Divorce became normal. You might have quietly assumed that one day your relationship would fall apart the same way. But I declare that the pattern ends with you. The marriage you are in, or the one you will one day enter, can be different. It can be healthy. It can be lasting. It can flourish. The curse is breaking. Maybe there's a history of financial struggle. No matter how hard people worked, there was never enough. Poverty felt like a family trait, but I am breaking that mindset and that pattern. You are not doomed to constant lack. You are not cursed to carry financial struggle forever. The generational cycle is being interrupted. A new pattern of provision, stewardship, and blessing is beginning. Maybe your family has long dealt with mental battles, depression, anxiety, emotional storms that seem to keep coming back, generation after generation. But I speak healing over your mind and over the minds of those who will come after you. The patterns of darkness are being pushed back by my light. A new legacy of peace and mental wholeness is being written. If you're believing for that new legacy over your bloodline, share this message with at least one person in your family as a prophetic act that things are changing from this generation forward. Maybe there have been patterns of abuse, physical, emotional, verbal, or otherwise. Cycles of hurt that keep repeating. But I declare, this is where it ends. The chain of pain breaks here. You will not continue what was done to you. You will be the one who stops it. You will heal, and that healing will become a shield for those who come after you. Whatever the specific pattern is in your family, bring it up to me right now in your heart. Name it before me and know that I am able to break it. Not just help you manage it or cope with it, but actually cut its influence off your family line forever. Every plan the enemy set up against this family, these finances, this body, this calling, I overturn it. What was meant to destroy, I am turning into destiny. What was planned to hurt, I am turning into help. The very weapons formed against you will become testimonies of my delivering power. Did you feel something shift while those words were spoken? That was the atmosphere around you changing. Doors that were locked are now being unlocked. Things that were tied up are now being loosened. Paths that were blocked are being cleared. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. You may not see the full evidence right away in the natural, but know this, something important has already shifted in the spirit. Here's what is different now. The access points that allowed the enemy to torment you have been sealed. The legal rights he claimed are canceled. Spiritual doors left open by past experiences, generational patterns, and harmful words spoken over you, those doors are now shut and secured. He will try again. That's what he does. But he will discover that his old tricks don't work like they used to. In the coming days, you may start to notice changes. Nightmares may calm and turn into peaceful dreams. Stormy thoughts may quiet down. Situations that were chaotic may slowly begin to settle. This is not random. This is the visible world catching up with what has already happened in the invisible. The shift has taken place in heaven. Now it is unfolding on earth. I want to give you practical wisdom for staying in this freedom. The enemy will test the doors to see if you'll reopen them. He'll send familiar temptations. He'll replay old scenes. He'll push the same buttons that once gave him easy access. Your role is to resist, not by trying harder in your own strength, but by leaning on mine. When you feel old habits or old reactions rising again, call on my name. Speak truth over yourself. Remind the enemy and remind your own mind who you belong to and what has been spoken over you. Freedom is not just something you receive once, it's something you walk in daily. It's a choice every day to live in the liberty that's been paid for on your behalf. If you're choosing right now to walk in that freedom, hit the like button as a way of marking this moment so you can look back and say, that was the day I agreed with freedom over my life. Some people receive breakthrough and then slowly drift back into the same traps because they don't guard what they've received. Let that not be you. Protect what has been restored to you. Stand your ground in the territory that has been reclaimed. Hold firm in the freedom that now belongs to you. Now I want to talk about your identity. This might be the most important part of this whole message, because everything else flows from it. If you don't know who you are, you'll struggle to receive what I'm trying to give you. You are not who the enemy calls you. You are not what your critics call you. You are not what your past calls you. You are not even what you call yourself when you're speaking negatively. You are who I say you are. And this is what I say. You are chosen. Not as a last option, not as a backup when nothing else worked out, but as a first choice. Before the world was made. Before time started. Before anything existed except me, I chose you. I saw across all of history. I saw every person who would ever live. And I chose you on purpose. Not because you earned this, not because you were more deserving than anyone else. I chose you because I wanted you. Because something about who you are brings my heart joy in a way that no one else can. You are redeemed. Whatever you've done, wherever you've been, no matter how far you've wandered, the full price for your rescue has already been paid. The blood poured out on Calvary is enough for all your forgiveness. You do not have to keep punishing yourself for sins that have already been covered. You do not need to walk around carrying guilt for things that I've already erased. The transaction is complete. Your redemption is done. So walk in the freedom that costs so much to purchase. If these identity words are touching something deep inside you, take a second to subscribe and stay connected here. So you don't walk this journey of discovering who you are all by yourself. You are called. There is purpose attached to your life that no one else can fill. You are not random. You are not easily replaced. You are not just a pile of atoms that accidentally came together. You are intentionally crafted with a particular assignment that the world actually needs. When you don't walk in your calling, something unique is missing from the world. That's how important you are. You are empowered. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. Think about that. The greatest power in existence, resurrection power, lives inside of you right now. You are not limited to human strength. You are not confined to natural ability. You carry supernatural capacity for supernatural tasks. You are protected. Angels are on assignment to guard you. Promises have been spoken over you as covering. My presence surrounds you as a shield. This doesn't mean you never face problems. It means you never face them alone, and you will not be destroyed by them. You are loved fully, completely, endlessly. My love is not based on how well you perform. It does not rise when you get it right, or fall when you get it wrong. It simply remains constant, steady, absolute. There is nothing you can do to make me love you more, and nothing you can do to make me love you less. My love is not a reaction to who you are. It is an expression of who I am. These are not just pretty sentences. These are facts in the Spirit. When you start seeing yourself through these truths, everything in your life starts to change. You begin making choices from a place of fullness, not emptiness. You face challenges with courage instead of terror. You start expecting good because you finally understand you are my child. Let's go deeper into these identity truths because they are the foundation for everything else. When I say you are chosen, I mean this deeply. Before there were oceans, before there were stars, before anyone was alive, I saw you. I saw the exact mix of personality, gifts, and quirks that would make you who you are. I saw the particular contribution you would make to history. And in that eternal moment, I chose you. I said yes to your existence. I decided you would be here. That was not a random roll of the dice. It was a deliberate choice. I could have designed a world without you. I could have formed humanity and left your name out of it. But I wanted you. I wanted you alive at this exact time in this exact generation. You are not an accident of biology. You are a decision of divinity. When I say you are redeemed, I am talking about the costliest exchange in history. The price for your freedom was the blood of my own son. There was nothing more valuable that could be given. That price tells you how much you matter to me. I would not pay such an extreme cost for someone worthless. The cost of your redemption reveals your worth in my eyes. Everything you've ever done, whether you remember it or not, whether it was public or hidden, intentional or unintentional, has been covered at the cross. You do not need to keep paying for what has already been paid. You don't need to keep punishing yourself for what I've already forgiven. Agree with what I've done. Walk out the freedom that is already yours. When I say you are called, I mean your life has direction. You are not here just drifting. There is a pathway prepared for you. Assignments already waiting for you. People who need what you carry. Your calling might not look like someone else's. It might not be a stage or a title that impresses the world, but it carries weight in my kingdom, and that is what matters forever. When I say you are empowered, I'm talking about resources beyond what you naturally have. The Holy Spirit living inside you is not inactive. He is moving. He enables you to do what you could never do alone. He gives wisdom beyond what you've learned, strength beyond your physical energy, love beyond what you naturally feel. You are not running on human fuel only. Heavenly power is available in every moment. When I say you are protected, I'm telling you that nothing can ultimately destroy what I'm building in you. Yes, you'll face hard seasons. Yes, attacks will come, but they will not succeed in canceling your destiny. They can delay, but they cannot defeat what I've spoken. I am your shield. I am your defender. Whoever touches you touches the apple of my eye. Now let me show you a picture of your future, the way I see it. Not the future filtered through your fears, but the future as I actually designed it. I see you walking free. The things that wrapped around you are gone. The chains that weighed you down are broken. The heavy cloud that followed you is lifting. You move through your days with a lightness and joy you haven't known for years. People can tell something is different. There is peace in your eyes that wasn't there before. There is a calm strength in the way you carry yourself. I see you walking in purpose. The fog about your direction has cleared. You know why you are here. You understand what I've asked you to do. Each day means something because you see how it fits into the bigger story. Ordinary tasks become holy because you know they are part of your assignment. Work becomes an offering. Serving becomes a joy. I see you walking in provision. Your needs are met, not barely, but generously. There's enough for your home, enough to bless others, enough to stop living in constant financial fear. Worry about money is replaced by wise management. You're not scrambling in survival mode. You're managing resources with kingdom purpose. I see you walking in health. Your body functions the way I designed it to. Energy returns. Strength is renewed. Symptoms that concerned you calm down. You can do what you need and want to do without being held back like before. You treat your body with care, and that care shows. I see you walking in healthy relationships, good, supportive, life-giving connections. The unhealthy ties are cut. The right people are drawn in. There is mutual encouragement, honesty, and growth. You're no longer alone on the inside. You are part of a community that both celebrates you and challenges you to grow. I see you walking in influence. Your story touches others. Your testimony gives people hope. Your presence brings comfort and clarity. People look for your advice and your prayers. You are a light in places that feel dark. The changes in your life become a map for others who are stuck where you once were. Let me expand on this influence I'm building in you. It won't be built on you pretending to be perfect. It will be built on you being honest. You will not help people by acting like you never struggle. You will help them by showing how I met you in the middle of your struggle. That honesty is far more powerful than a polished image no one can relate to. When you share the real story, the messy parts, the doubts, the tears, something holy happens. People who feel broken see themselves in you. They think, if God did that for them, maybe He can do it for me. Your transparency becomes their doorway to hope. I see you speaking life over people who've only ever heard death spoken over them. People who've been told they are useless, hopeless, or beyond repair. You will speak my truth to them. You will tell them who they really are. You will call out the gold in them that others never bothered to see. And your words will carry weight because they'll be backed by my spirit and by your own story of transformation. I see you praying with people and for people in ways that shift things in the spirit. Not showy prayers meant to impress, but real, heartfelt intercession from a heart that knows me. Some of you will have special gifts in prayer, words of knowledge, prophetic insight, unusual faith for healing and breakthrough. These gifts are already inside you like seeds and will grow as you walk in obedience. I see you leading in different areas, some in ministry, some in business, some in families, some in communities. Leadership is not about titles. It's about influence, and the influence I'm growing in you will show up wherever you are, whatever your role. This is not a fantasy. This is my plan, and this is what will begin to unfold as you keep walking with me in trust. But I want you to understand something clearly. This future I've been describing is not automatic. It is available, but it must be stepped into. It is promised, but it must be possessed. My promises are like seeds. They are real, and each one already contains everything needed for it to grow. But they still have to be planted into faith and watered with obedience. Some people hear words like this, feel encouraged for a short time, and then go back to the same way of thinking and living. Nothing changes, because they never actually stepped into what I offered. They admired the promise from a distance, but never entered in. I don't want that to be your story. I want you to be someone who actually experiences the fullness of what I planned. And that requires partnership with me. Not perfection. I already told you I'm not demanding that, but partnership. A willingness to trust me when you don't understand. A choice to obey when it's not convenient. A decision to keep going even when progress feels slow. Let me tell you a story to explain this. There was once a treasure buried in a field. The man who owned the field didn't know it was there. He walked past it every day, never realizing what he was walking over. The treasure stayed hidden, not because it wasn't real, but because no one was looking for it. One day, a traveler passed through and noticed something different about a spot in the field. He started to dig. The owner thought he was wasting his time. Why dig in dry ground? But the traveler kept going. He ran into rocks he had to pull out, roots he had to cut. The work was tiring and slow. But his shovel finally hit something hard. He cleared away the dirt and found a chest. Inside was treasure beyond anything he had imagined. His persistence paid off. His willingness to dig where others had given up led him to wealth that changed his life. Here's what I want you to understand from that. The treasure is already there in the field of your life. I have already hidden blessings in your story. You do not have to create them from nothing. They exist. They are real, but they must be uncovered. They must be pursued. They must be claimed. Some of you have been walking over treasure without knowing it. The breakthrough you're longing for is closer than it looks. The blessing you've been praying for is not far away. It's just buried. But you have to dig. You have to stay persistent. You have to keep going when others would quit. What I'm offering you is not a passive receiving, but an active partnership. I will show you where to dig. I will place tools in your hands. I will strengthen your arms. But you have to put the shovel into the ground. You have to participate in your own breakthrough. This leads into another thing I want to talk about: the role of action in receiving my promises. Faith without works is dead. Not because works earn anything, but because real faith always shows up in what you do. When you truly believe something, you live like it's true. If you believe there is treasure hidden in a field, you dig. If you believe a door is going to open, you wait by it and get ready. If you believe provision is coming, you get into position to handle it well. If you believe healing is possible, you stop making every decision as if you will always be sick. Faith is not just agreeing in your mind. It is aligning your life with what I've said. I'm inviting you to start living as if what I've spoken over you will happen. Not in an arrogant way that ignores current reality, but in a faith-filled way that recognizes a higher reality. Start making decisions that match where I'm taking you, not where you've been stuck. Start seeing yourself the way I see you, instead of the way your fears describe you. This is not pretending. This is positioning. You're positioning yourself for what's coming by aligning your thoughts, your words, and your actions with what I've declared. There is something I want you to do, not to earn the promise, but to stand in the right place to receive it. I want you to make a choice to stop partnering with fear. Fear has walked beside you for too long. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. It has whispered worst-case scenarios. It has convinced you to shrink, stay quiet, and stay small. But fear is a liar. Every time you listen to it, something was stolen. Opportunities never taken, relationships never started, risks never embraced, dreams never even tried. Fear pretends to protect you, but in reality it traps you. It keeps you locked in a prison of what-ifs while real life passes by. I'm not calling you to be reckless. Wisdom is not the same as fear. Wisdom looks at a situation honestly and chooses carefully. Fear distorts the situation and freezes you. Learn to tell the difference. Wisdom sounds like thoughtful consideration. Fear sounds like everything crashing down. When fear speaks, answer it with truth. When fear says, "You can't do this," remind yourself that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. When fear says, "No one cares about you," remind yourself that the Creator of the universe knows how many hairs are on your head. When fear says nothing will ever change, remind yourself that I am working all things together for your good. Let me give you some practical tools for facing fear. First, identify the lies fear is speaking. Fear likes to stay vague. It creates a heavy feeling without clear reasons. But when you force yourself to name what you're actually afraid of, fear loses power. What exactly are you worried will happen? Name it, write it down, bring it into the light. Second, test that fear against reality. Is what you're imagining actually likely? And even if it did happen, would it really be as devastating as fear says? Fear exaggerates and forgets how resilient you are. When you examine it honestly, it often shrinks. Third, replace fearful thoughts with truth. Don't just try to stop thinking about fear. That leaves an empty space. Fill that space with something solid. For every fearful thought, find a truth in my word that addresses it. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Speak that over your mind when fear comes. Fourth, move forward even while you still feel afraid. Courage isn't about never feeling fear. It's about choosing to act despite it. Sometimes you have to do the thing while your hands are still shaking. Every time you take action in the midst of fear, you loosen its grip. You teach yourself that fear doesn't run your life. You build history with courage. Fifth, stay connected to others. Fear grows louder in isolation. When you're alone with your thoughts, they can spin and spiral. But when you share your fears with people you trust, they lose some control. Others can remind you of truth. Others can pray for you. Others can bring perspective when your thoughts are racing. Do not try to fight fear completely alone. These tools are not separate from faith. They are how faith looks in action. Using simple, practical strategies against fear does not make you less spiritual. It's just being wise in the battle. Use every tool I give you. This is not about pretending problems don't exist. It's about facing them from a position of faith instead of panic. Faith does not deny reality. It taps into a greater reality. Faith looks at the giant and says, "My God is bigger than you," instead of saying, "You're too big for me." Let me give you another story. There was a village living in the shadow of a huge mountain. Generations had been raised on fear of that mountain. Old stories said it was dangerous, cursed, untouchable. Rules were made, never go near it. Tales were passed down of terrible things that happened to anyone who tried. Fear of the mountain became part of their identity. One day, a traveler arrived from the other side of that same mountain. He was confused by their fear. He told them that beyond the mountain was a wide, beautiful valley. Clean water, rich soil, more than enough resources. Everything the village needed was just on the other side of what they feared. Most villagers didn't believe him. The fear had lived too long in their minds. But a few brave ones decided to go see for themselves. They walked toward the mountain, expecting disaster at every step. But nothing happened. They climbed. It was hard work, but it didn't kill them. When they reached the top and looked over, they saw the valley and began to weep, happy because of what they found, and sad for all the wasted years living in limitation. They went back and led others to the valley. In time, the whole village relocated. What they had avoided in fear for generations turned out to be the path to blessing. The old scary stories were replaced with new stories about courage and discovery. Children grew up hearing, "Don't believe everything fear tells you." They learned that sometimes the greatest blessings sit right behind the things that scare us. This is what I want for you. Not just breakthrough for yourself, but breakthrough that becomes a legacy. Freedom that runs down your family line. Courage that shapes how your children and grandchildren see the world. You're not just fighting for you, you're fighting for everyone coming after you. Every fear you overcome is a fear your children may never have to face at the same level. Every mountain you climb is a mountain already conquered for them. Think about that. The battles you are in right now are securing territory for future generations. The victories you win now become part of the inheritance for those who follow you. So this is not just about your comfort or your pain. It is about a line of blessing that I want to start through you. Some people look at their struggles and think, this is just my issue. It's not that deep. But that's not true. Your freedom matters forever. Your breakthrough affects more than you. When you step into what I've planned, you are clearing a path for others. What is the mountain in your life? What thing have you feared so long that the fear has become part of how you describe yourself? What might be waiting on the other side of that fear that you've been missing? I am inviting you to approach the mountain, not recklessly, but with courage, not ignoring wisdom and healthy caution, but refusing to bow to paralyzing terror. The breakthrough you're praying for may be on the other side of the thing you keep avoiding. If this is exposing your mountain and calling you higher, drop the words second field or I'm climbing in the comments, as a sign that you're choosing courage over comfort from this day forward. Let me tell you one more story. There was a farmer with 2 fields. The first field was easy to reach. The soil was okay. Water was nearby. It produced decent harvests year after year. The farmer was comfortable working this field. He knew it well. He could predict what it would yield. The second field was far away and harder to access. To get there, he had to cross rough ground. He had heard rumors that the soil there was incredibly rich, but he had never gone to look. It seemed like too much trouble. The risk seemed high. So he stayed with the first field and left the second one untouched. Years went by. The first field slowly became worn out. The harvests got smaller, the soil lost strength, the farmer began to worry. Finally, desperate, he decided to try and reach the second field. The journey was indeed difficult. There were moments he wanted to turn around, but he kept going. When he finally arrived, he discovered the talk was true. The soil was deep and fertile. The water was clean and abundant. The first harvest from that field surpassed anything he had ever seen. In that moment, he realized that his comfort had limited him. His reluctance to endure temporary difficulty had cost him years of greater blessing. That second field had been waiting for him the whole time. He just hadn't gone. After that, he began to divide his efforts. He still used the first field, but he invested heavily into the second. Over time, the second field became wildly productive. He could now provide for his family in ways that had once seemed impossible. He could help neighbors during their times of need. His impact in the community grew. But he always remembered the lesson. He would tell younger farmers, "Don't let the safety of what you know keep you from the abundance you've never explored. There's more available than what you've settled for." In that village, the second field became a common phrase. Whenever someone was settling for less, playing it safe, or refusing to step into something greater, people would say, "You need to find your second field." It became a reminder of choosing courage over comfort. I wonder if there is a second field in your life, a place of greater blessing that asks for more courage, a deeper level of purpose that requires a more challenging journey. You've grown used to your first field, and it has carried you to this point. But good enough is not the same as abundant. Fine is not the same as full. I am calling you toward your second field. The journey will stretch you. You will doubt yourself at times. You will be tempted to turn back to what's known. But what I have prepared there is worth it. Here's what I'm asking you in light of that story. Ask yourself honestly, where have I been settling? Where have I accepted good enough when something greater was available? Where have I stayed in the first field because getting to the second field looked too hard? Maybe it's your work. You have a job that pays the bills, but it doesn't match the deeper calling I placed in you. The second field, work that lines up with your purpose, looks too risky. The path there looks uncertain, so you stay where you are, all while feeling a quiet tug that there is more. Maybe it's your relationships. You have people around you, but the relationships stay shallow. The second field, real community and deeper friendships, would require vulnerability you've avoided. So you stay at the surface and miss the closeness your heart longs for. Maybe it's your spiritual life. You have routines and habits, but they aren't transforming you. The second field, real encounter, real surrender, honest intimacy with me, would demand that you change some patterns you've held on to. So you keep a form of godliness without its power. I'm not here to shame you, I'm calling you forward. Your first field is not evil, it's just incomplete. The second field is where abundance grows. It's where purpose flourishes. It's where the fullness of what I've arranged for you can be found. What would it look like for you to start that journey? You don't have to arrive in one leap. You just need to begin. One step toward the second field. One decision that says, I won't settle anymore. One move of faith toward the life I've been pointing you to. I will go with you on that road. I will guide you through the rough patches. I will strengthen you when part of you wants to run backwards. I will rejoice with you when you reach that new ground. Just start. Take the first step. Your second field is waiting. As I bring this message closer to its end, I want to talk to the person who feels like they've heard things like this before. You've received promises and prophetic words, but not many have shown up in your reality. Your heart has been bruised by hope that didn't seem to materialize. You are careful now about getting your hopes up again. The disappointment of delayed or unfulfilled words feels heavy. I understand that pain. I'm not angry with you for being cautious. The ache of hoping and not seeing can be very deep. Some of those previous words may have come from sincere people who weren't actually speaking my voice. Some of them were words with conditions attached, steps of obedience that were never taken. Some of them are still in process and not yet visible. But here's what I want you to know. My true words do not return empty. When I speak something, the power to fulfill it is carried in the word itself. The variable is never whether I am faithful. The variable is timing, preparation, and alignment. If I have truly spoken something over your life, it will happen. Maybe not when you expected. Maybe not how you pictured. But it will, because I cannot lie. My nature will not allow it. So let this message breathe fresh hope into you. Not hope in human voices or human timelines, but hope in me. I am the God who keeps covenant. I am the God who remembers. I am the God who finishes what I start. What I have spoken over you still stands. The calling on your life is still active. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. The destiny I shaped for you is still open. Time has not canceled it. Delay has not deleted it. It is yours, and you will walk in it. Now, how should you respond to this message? It would be easy to listen, feel a bit better, and then slide back into routine. But I want this to be a turning point for you, a line in the sand. Here's what I'm asking. First, receive these words on purpose. Don't just let them wash over you and fade. Let them sink down into the deepest places. Don't let the enemy distract you until they slide away. Don't let doubt steal them. Guard them like treasure, because that's what they are. Second, change the way you speak about yourself and your situation. Your words matter. They carry spiritual weight. If you keep speaking defeat, limitation, and never, you are working against what I am doing. Start bringing your words into agreement with mine. When you talk about yourself, speak what I say about you. When you talk about your future, speak what I've promised, not what fear predicts. That's not denial, that's declaring truth. Third, take a step. You do not have to see the whole road to take the first move. You do not need full clarity to begin. There is something specific I am bringing to your mind right now, something you already know you need to do but have delayed. Do it. Don't wait for everything to feel perfect. Move, and I will show you the next step as you go. Fourth, stay close. What I'm doing in you is not meant to be a one-time moment. It's a journey. The change I'm after is gradual, layer by layer. You will need to keep coming back, keep seeking, keep listening, keep responding. The more time you spend in my presence, the more you will grow into who you were created to be. Fifth, find people who are also walking this road. You're not meant to do this alone. There are people I will place in your life who will lift you when you are low. People who will stand in faith when yours feels weak. People who will speak truth when lies are loud. Look for them. Connect with them. Build community around shared faith. Before I speak the final words, I want to give you a commission. This is not only a message for you to receive, it's a mission for you to live. Go and be for others what you longed for someone to be for you. When you meet someone wrestling with what you've wrestled with, share your story. When you notice someone believing the same lies you once believed, speak truth over them. When you see someone stuck where you used to be stuck, gently help them forward. Let me show you how to do this well. Real ministry to people is not about having perfect advice. It's about being present. It's about listening more than talking. It's about helping people feel seen and heard before trying to fix them. Too often, people rush to give answers when what someone really needs is companionship in their pain. When you meet someone hurting, start by just being there. Don't downplay what they feel. Don't rush to patch it up. Don't throw verses at them before you've earned their trust. Just be with them. Acknowledge where they are. Let them know you truly see them. Then, as trust grows, you can begin to share your own story. Not to make it about you, but to give them a picture of hope. Tell them how you faced something similar. Tell them how you struggled. Tell them how I met you in that place. Your story becomes a bridge they can cross. Be sensitive to timing. Not every moment is the right one for a deep conversation. Sometimes what someone needs first is a meal, a ride, or a practical solution. Sometimes they need rest before they're ready for revelation. Sometimes they need you to quietly help carry their load before they're ready to open their heart. Let me guide you in what to say and when. Stay humble about your role. You are not the savior. I am. You are a vessel, an open channel for my love. Some people you help will respond quickly. Others will not seem to change at all. Some seeds take years before you see any growth. Your job is to plant and water. I am responsible for the growth. Pray for the people I bring into your life. Not just once, but over time. Carry them in your heart. Pray for them even when you don't see them anymore. Some of the most powerful things you will ever do for others will happen where no one else can see. In private prayer, moving mountains in the spirit. This is the commission. This is what I'm training you for. Not a platform to show off, but a position of service to lift others. Your pain is being reshaped into purpose. Your test is turning into your testimony. Your mess is becoming your message. Nothing you have walked through is wasted if you offer it back to me for the sake of others. You are not just someone who receives grace. You are someone who carries it to others. You are not just blessed. You are a blessing. You are not just loved. You are called to love. The change in your life is meant to spill over into other lives. This is how my kingdom grows. One changed life touching another. One freed person helping another find freedom. One healed heart comforting another. You are part of this chain. You are a link in a long line of blessing that stretches backward through generations and forward into eternity. Think about that for a moment. There were people long before you who prayed for future generations, asking me to bless their children's children and beyond. Their prayers reached into the future and touched your life. Some of the blessings you've enjoyed are answers to prayers from people who never knew your name, but carried you in their heart by faith. Now it's your turn. You can do this for those who come after you. Your prayers can reach ahead into years you'll never live to see. You can bless generations you will never meet. You can shift the spiritual climate for descendants you'll never know personally. This is both privilege and responsibility. Don't treat it as small. Your prayers matter more than you can imagine. Your daily faithfulness sends ripples far beyond your lifetime. If you want to intentionally partner with that kind of generational legacy, save this message right now so you can return to it on the days you feel tired, discouraged, or tempted to give up. Let it remind you why your faithfulness matters. Receive this commission. Say yes to this calling. Walk in this purpose. There's one more thing I want to speak to before we close. It is for those who feel unqualified. You look at your life and see all your flaws. You think of what you lack in education, background, skills, or money. You look at your failures and ask, how could someone like me be used for anything important? I want to confront that belief. Throughout history, I have repeatedly chosen those who looked unqualified. Moses had a speech issue and a past full of regret, yet I used him to lead a nation out of slavery. David was the youngest, overlooked by his own family, yet I made him a great king. Peter was a simple fisherman with a tendency to speak without thinking, yet I made him a leader in the early church. Paul actively opposed my people, yet I used him to write much of the New Testament. Do you see the pattern? I don't look for the qualified. I qualify the ones I choose. Your sense of not enough does not disqualify you. In many ways, it positions you perfectly. Because when someone who obviously doesn't have it all together does something extraordinary, people can see it was me. Your weakness becomes the backdrop for my strength. Stop counting yourself out of things I haven't counted you out of. Stop repeating over yourself, I'm not smart enough, talented enough, connected enough, experienced enough. Those may feel true in natural terms, but they are not the deciding factor in my plans. What I call you to, I equip you for. Where I send you, I provide for. The places where you feel most insecure might become the very places where my glory shines the brightest. Your stutter may become the channel for words that change lives. Your struggles with numbers may be the setting for surprising financial testimonies. Your awkwardness in relationships may be the place where I build deep and meaningful connections. I love to reverse the story. I love to take what was once a weakness and turn it into a weapon. So let go of false humility that is really fear hiding in spiritual language. Let go of self-judgment that keeps you from stepping into what I've called you to do. Let go of comparing yourself to others who seem more impressive. None of that matters. What matters is this: I have called you, and I'm telling you again, I have. Your feelings of inadequacy are not a wall to me. They are an opening for me to show my strength. I choose the weak things to confound the strong. I choose what the world calls foolish to unmask what the world calls wise. I choose what seems like nothing to tear down what the world celebrates as something. That way, no one can boast except in me. Your weakness is the stage on which my strength will shine. So step forward. Stop waiting until you finally feel ready, because that feeling might never come. Step forward with your doubts and gaps and imperfections. Watch me fill the spaces you cannot fill. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Step forward before you feel qualified and watch me qualify you as you go. Step forward while you still feel afraid and watch your courage grow one step at a time. Action unlocks provision. Obedience releases power. You are called, you are chosen. You are more ready than you think, not in your own strength, but in mine. Now listen to these final words. Let them sink down deep and become the ground you stand on. You are not alone. You have never been alone. In every chapter of your life, past, present, and future, I am there. My presence walks with you. My love belongs to you. My power is available to you. You are held. You are covered. You are kept. The road ahead will still have challenges. I am not promising a life without problems. I am promising a life where problems don't define you, where obstacles don't end your story, where setbacks don't destroy what I'm doing. You will encounter storms, but you will face them with me. And because I am with you, you will overcome. Everything I have said in this message is true. Everything I have promised is secure. Everything I have declared will come to pass, not because you will do everything perfectly, but because I am faithful. Not because you earn it, but because I give it as a gift. Let me tell you about the confidence I want you to walk in. It is not shallow confidence in yourself that collapses the moment you fail. Confidence rooted in your own performance will always be fragile. I want you to have confidence in me. God confidence, a steady assurance based on what I can do in you and through you. This kind of confidence does not crumble because I do not change. My power does not fade. My love does not fail. My promises do not break. When your confidence is anchored in me, it can endure any storm. Imagine living with that kind of confidence. You wouldn't be frozen by fear of failure because you'd know even your failures cannot ruin my plans. You wouldn't be crushed by criticism because you'd value my opinion above every human voice. You wouldn't live anxious about the future because you'd know I hold the future and I hold you. This is the confidence arming in you, not instantly, but gradually. Every time you see my faithfulness, it grows. Every answered prayer adds another layer. Every situation that looked impossible, but where I made a way, deepens your trust. You are learning to rely on me more and more, and that trust is building unshakable confidence. By the time you fully step into what I have prepared, you will also have the inner strength to carry it. Your confidence will match your calling. Your internal maturity will match your external opportunities. You will not shrink away from the doors I open, because you will know deep down, I am with you and I am for you. So move forward with confidence. Move forward with hope. Move forward in faith. The God of the universe is on your side. The creator of everything is working for your good. The Savior of the world holds your name close to his heart. I have been working even when you couldn't see it. I am working right now. And I will keep working until every promise is fulfilled, every purpose is accomplished, every plan I've made for you is complete. Nothing I've started in you can be stopped. No obstacle is too big, no enemy is too strong, no situation is too complicated. You are my beloved. I am pleased with you. Let me speak one more declaration over you before we close. Take this deep into your spirit. Let these words become anchors when the waves rise. You are enough. Not because of everything you have done or will do, but because of who made you and who you belong to. The lie that you are not enough is one of the enemy's favorites. It keeps people constantly performing, constantly striving, never resting, always chasing something, believing that the next achievement will finally make them feel complete. But you are already complete in me. You are missing nothing essential. Everything you need for life and godliness has already been given. You are significant. Your life matters. Your existence changes the world in ways you don't always see. Some people feel invisible, like if they disappeared, no one would notice. But I notice. I see every moment, and I say, you are significant. Not because of how big your platform is, not because of how many people know your name, but because you are mine. And I have plans for your life. You are capable. Not in your own strength alone, but in the strength I give. There are things ahead that you cannot accomplish on your own. That is intentional. I want you reliant on me. But that reliance doesn't mean weakness, it means power. When you lean on me, you become capable of things that would be impossible otherwise. My power flowing through you enables you to do what you could never do by yourself. You are forgiven, completely, deeply, and forever. The sins you remember are forgiven. The sins you've forgotten are forgiven. The things you did before you knew me are forgiven. The things you did after you knew me and still stumbled, also forgiven. There is no list against you in heaven. The page is clean. The debt is paid. Stop holding on to guilt I've already removed. Receive the forgiveness that cost so much. You are loved. I know I have repeated this, but I will say it again because it is essential. My love for you is not fragile. It is not conditional. It does not depend on your spiritual performance, daily disciplines, or outward behavior. My love simply is. It was there before you took your first breath. It will be there after your last. It will remain for eternity. Nothing can separate you from it. Nothing. You are destined. There is a destination prepared for your life, a purpose designed specifically for you, a calling that has your name on it. This destiny is not vague. It is precise in my heart. The road toward it may twist through places you never expected, but the destination is firm. You are headed somewhere meaningful. These declarations are spoken over you from my throne. They carry all my authority and all my power. Let them settle in your heart and become the truth you build your life around. As we close, remember this. This message is not the end of our conversation. It is an invitation to keep talking. I am not a distant God who speaks once and then goes silent. I want daily relationship. I want to meet you in quiet moments. I want to guide you in big choices and small ones. I want to walk with you through your whole day, not just visit you in special moments. So keep listening. Keep your heart soft. Make space for me in your everyday life. The more you practice my presence, the more natural it becomes. The more you tune your ear to my voice, the clearer it will sound. Our relationship will deepen over time through consistent attention and response. Some of the most important things I will say to you won't come in big, dramatic ways. They'll come in a nudge, a whisper, a gentle shift in your thoughts. Those quieter moments matter just as much as messages like this. Pay attention to them. Respond to them. This is how I lead you step by step through your everyday life. I care about all of it. There is no area too small to bring to me, and no problem too big. I care about your major life decisions and your daily stress. I care about your spiritual growth and your practical needs. Bring everything to me. Hold nothing back. Let our relationship touch every corner of your life. Remember, I have been working even when you didn't see it. I am working right now, and I will keep working until every single thing I've promised you comes to pass. Your part is to trust, to obey, and to stay close to me. My part is everything else, now and forever. If this message spoke to your heart, I want to lovingly invite you to do something with it. Share it with someone who might need these words today. You don't know who is silently struggling, who is tired, who feels close to giving up, who might be one message away from a shift in their life. Your simple act of sharing could be my answer to their prayer. Take a moment to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next message. There are more words coming, words crafted for what you'll face in the days ahead. Leave a comment below and share which part of this message touched your situation the most. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to read while they're fighting their own battle. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next message. Amen.